Hello. Welcome to PePo-time. Bienvenido, mi gente. We are here in Shelton, Connecticut, aka The Shotty. For the ones that know, stand up. For the ones that just found out, now you're in the know. Yo, ¿quién soy? My name is Carlos Castro. I'm a simple guy with lots of goals, lots of ideas, with a positive outlook at life. Este programa siempre ha sido un sueño mío, por mucho tiempo. A mí me encanta cocinar, me encanta entretener y las conversaciones con amistades y familia es lo mejor que me puede pasar. El propósito de este programa es para indicarles que un electricista con bien poco entrenamiento también puede cocinar al nivel dishwasher. I'm fucking with you. But let's get serious for a moment here. I will be inviting some guests that have built and worked so hard in their careers or businesses and to get where they are today. And we'll be breaking bread and having a conversation and talking about all the obstacles they have faced in life and how they overcame it. PePo-time hopes that the advice that our guests give you helps you keep motivated and keep pushing forward because times can get tough. And in everyone's life, sometimes a brick wall can just come out and smack you right in the face. But with the words or some simple advice from somebody that has lived it, can just be all we need, all that extra push to jump over those brick walls or just bang right through those brick walls. Pero para una conversación así, necesitamos una comida deliciosa. Y lo que yo voy a hacer, antes del programa, yo conversé con nuestros invitados y les pregunté, ¿qué es sus platos favoritos? Y yo les voy a preparar y le voy a meter todo corazón que pueda, full effort, para que salga PePo. Today, our guest is Ingrid Palm, Clinical Research Manager at Yale Cancer Center. Also, my chain of balls, aka me wife. But today in PePo-time, we're going to be preparing her a fettuccine Alfredo pasta topped up with black salmon. To start off though, we're going to do some Patacones or some skirt steak, a little avocado sauce. We're going to drizzle that chimichurri right on top. So, join us today in hopes that you learn a trick or two in the kitchen and the advice from our guests gets you to jump over that hurdle that you might be facing today. Ahora sí, mi gente, comencemos el show. It's time for PePo-time. So, let's begin the prep game. We're going to invite our guest, Ingrid, to come in the kitchen and give us a little hand. That way she can ask any questions that she might have of what I'm preparing today. So, please, welcome my lovely, beautiful queen, Ingrid.
Thanks for having me on the show. I'm so excited to be here.
All right, babe. So today, we're going to be here making some delicious food. And we're going to start off with some simple things. You're going to be focusing at the moment right now on the chimichurri. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
All right, great. So while you're doing that, I'm going to be prepping the meats. But would you like a glass of wine for now?
Oh, of course.
It's a nice little Chardonnay with some hints of mango and pineapple, which we're also going to be using this wine to make the Alfredo fettuccine.
Wow. That definitely sounds delicious. Thank you, babe.
All right, so what I need you to start off with right now is I need you to kind of make these garlics.
Okay.
And then you're going to put it in the guacamole maker. I know there's an actual name for it, but I call it guacamole maker, even though we're making chimichurri. It's the same. All right. So I need you to peel those. How many we got there?
I've got two.
All right, let's add one more and let's make that 3. All right, let's start with that off, and I'm gonna go get the skirt steak, and I'm gonna start prepping that, getting it at room temperature, taking a little bit of the blood off, so when we get a nice sear on it, when we put it on the grill. Okay, entonces comencemos. Por favor, comience.
All right, let's get going. This is the fun part, right?
Little trick to this,
Oh, wonderful.
which is nice and easy. Instead of going crazy like this, all we do is a little slam.
Nice.
Take out all the skin, because nothing of this is necessary, and we don't need to be perfect choppings, because we're gonna muddle this. So it's all just going to become a nice paste. And that's really it. Nice and easy.
As always, I'm learning something new from you.
All right. How are we doing over there, Ingrid?
All right, I've got the 3 of them. Do you need me to chop them up more?
No. Put it right in the guacamole maker.
Guacamole maker. I can step into that. All right, what else is next? I'm ready for the next thing.
We're gonna need a little bit of salt and sugar to help it grind it and break it all up so it becomes a nice little paste. All right, so let's get a little bit of salt.
Hey, I did something already. Yeah.
Get some sugar. This is my sugar. Aye. All right, let's get some of that.
Is that enough salt? My eyeball.
Let's put a little bit more.
I'll put it.
That's good, that's good. A little bit of salt and sugar there. Now let's start muddling all that.
Okay.
All right, so Ingrid, you are the manager in Yale Cancer Center. What got you there?
Yeah, well, I've always had an interest in science in general, and you know, I got in my bachelor's degree interest in clinical research, and so when I got the opportunity to join Yale, I've worked there for about 7 years now, and it's really rewarding, more than anything. It's a very rewarding job. It's a very high-paced, you know, patient-oriented. Seeing what happens with the patients and the potential treatments that can come from that is really an exciting field of work.
So you're pretty much saying is that your goal was always to help people to find a solution to health problems.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. It's good to know. But now, let's hold for a minute. That looks amazing and perfect.
Yes.
Good job.
Looks
Good job. So the paste, you see the garlic looks a little pasty.
It does.
All right, so now what I want you to do is I want to take some of these herbs and start putting them in there and start muddling the same way
Okay.
with the paste. Get it really good in there. Let's clean the mallet a little bit. Get all that garlic in there because the garlic is flavor. That's what we know. All right, so start working on
What do you want
that.
to start with? Parsley?
We can do a little parsley, then we can go with the mint, and then we can put the dill, and then we can put the chives. Let's do that. All right, so let's start with this fishy fish. Ingrid,
Yeah.
this is your favorite dish.
It is.
And I know that because, well, unfortunately, you have forced me to make this. Don't get me wrong, I also enjoy this dish very, very much. So why? Why this dish? Why do you love it so much? When was the first time you tried this dish?
Oh gosh, salmon. You know, salmon is something my mom always makes, so it's something that I've always been introduced to and eaten, and it's probably it definitely is one of my favorite ones, but seafood in general is something that I love. And so the blackened pacing to it that you're going to do is my favorite because it gives it a little bit of a kick to it. I'm not too much into spicy, as you know, and that is the perfect kick for what I like.
So let's talk a little bit of college. When you were in college, what kind of diet did you have? Like, what was your diet in college? Come on, because we know, the freshman 15, you don't seem like you gained 15. Even after 2 kids, look what I got. Pretty good, right?
You're kind. Yeah, I mean, I can certainly say I probably had the diet of the typical college person with lots of fried foods and, sodas. It was not the healthiest looking back of what I should be eating.
There's a little bird that used to tell me that you used to eat Cheetos and ice cream for breakfast. Now, how true could that be? And if it is true, when are you going to tell your daughter and your son about this little diet of yours?
Yes, it's true. Freshman year, that was something I used to do. Cheetos, I think it was Mountain Dew for breakfast. And gosh, I probably don't ever want to tell my daughter that because I don't want her to do the same mistake. And if she chooses to do so, that's on her. And, it wasn't an influence for me. But at the time, it seemed reasonable. Not sure why. But now I can see that that was not the best idea.
You did not have to chop that. You just had to throw it in there and muddle. I am sorry for not paying attention.
You tell me that after. Typical. Okay, well, I did more than I should have.
Typical.
I went above and beyond.
But we do have a recording, and I'm pretty sure I said that. Put it in there and muddle it. We'll see in the playback.
Okay. I'll call it going above and beyond.
There we go. You can call it whatever you want, honey. Besides listening to me. Alright, so over here, I'm gonna start prepping the Blacken seasoning for the fish. A tablespoon of that. Then we're going to do a little oregano.
Chop it up this time.
Yes, no chopping, just muddle. Like everything in life, you make it complicated. Just kidding, just kidding.
Oh, wow.
She's the reason why my life is simple. How are we doing over there?
Slowly working through this. I think I'm doing it right. Okay.
And let's add half a lemon juice, please. Pinch more of garlic, and we go from there.
Wow, that looks amazing. Well, I am getting more and more excited about this. Slowly getting closer to the final dish.
Slowly, very slowly, but we'll get there.
So you're going to use patacones.
Correct.
How do you know when those are ready?
Well, it's a green plantain. So the green means it's ready to be more of a savory flavor than a sweet, delicious dessert. Because if you wait for these plátanos, you give this plátano maybe 2 days, it will get yellow, just like a normal banana, but then the content inside will become very, very sweet. So you can't really use it for like, savory food like what we're doing today for an appetizer. Then it becomes more of a dessert, which is delicious. If you wait these and you get these really, really, really ripe to the point where they're almost black, and you cut them up and you fry them, put a little bit of cheese on it, just like my mom likes it, you will love it. It's a delicious, delicious treat. Kids gobble it up, adults gobble it up, and if you know how to do un lomo saltado, una carne al jugo, un arrocito con una carne al jugo y unos platinitos fritos dulces, delicioso. Maybe algún día les indico eso también. There's no real easy trick or thing to do with the plantain to take the skin off. What I do, there's lines. I cut down the line, the smallest, thinnest one. I pull it out, and after that, it just kind of peels like a banana. It's not the greatest all the time. It's still kind of difficult sometimes, but it's the easiest that I found. Because when I first started doing this, I used to try to not cut it down the middle, and I just try to peel it. It would get all under my nails, and boy, did that hurt. So that's a little trick for you.
Nice.
Hopefully now she starts making them.
Well, the few that I've done are very hard, as you said, so I'll just leave it up to you.
Alright. So patacones is something that I grew up en mi casa. Casi todo domingo mi mamá hacía un desayuno y siempre había unos patacones. Patacones con huevitos fritos, patacones con un arrocito y no, lo que sea, pero unos patacones los fines de semana siempre había en casa. Bien delicioso para nosotros. Algo normal que teníamos, que siempre veíamos, especialmente estos plátanos verdes, cuando están así, se les puede hacer unas empanadas de verde. Ay, qué buenas que son esas empanadas. Con un cafecito negro y una empanadita de verde con quesito, you cannot go wrong. One of the best things you can ever have. And one day, maybe I'll show you. Maybe one day I'll invite you and you can have some with me. So Ingrid, what is your love and hate with cooking? Do you love it more than you hate it, or do you hate it more than you love it?
Oh, I think I love it more than I hate it, but it still requires some planning, requires a lot of execution, and just having to go along with it as you make it. And then the cleanup is not the funnest part.
So, a couple tips for that. Things that make life easier when you're cooking is prepping. Prepping before you actually start cooking, it's so important, because when you start cooking stuff and you have stuff on the fire and it's getting fried or it's getting sauteed or whatever, to stop and go chop something, to stop and go grab something, it really can mess up your timing. It can overcook the food, or it can undercook the food because now you didn't look at it for too long, so you don't know where it is. Very important to prep. And then the cleaning. Clean while you go. As long as you clean while you go, at the end of the cook time, all you're going to have to do is clean a couple dishes, probably run the dishwasher if you want, but you're going to be able to enjoy it very, very much. So that's very important tips that I think are important. Prepping and cleaning while you go makes kitchen life a lot simpler.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'd have to agree, and I have to thank you, because you've also made it a lot easier to go through a meal and take some of your tips. I've definitely taken that in, and I've used it on a daily basis.
Good. See? She listens. telling you guys, women do listen. Take some time, some patience, but they do listen.
You're a funny one.
Why she married me, right? All the women out there probably, why she married this asshole?
Well, he feeds me well. Let's just keep that in mind.
Ain't nobody perfect, but the goal is to put maximum effort, do what you love, and do it for the people that you love. And if you keep that in mind and that's your goals, the kitchen really is a special place. The kitchen is where the heart is, the kitchen is where everyone's always at, and kitchen is where you get your belly full.
I love that. I think that's really great.
So now we got the plantains ready as well. The chimichurri looks awesome. I think it's right at the point. Let's give it a little taste.
Oh, all right.
Have you put this in your mouth? Let's get this a little clean.
See?
Very, very good.
Yes.
So one thing you probably all know if you watch any cooking shows, kitchen etiquette, and just pretty much common sense to respect to the people you're feeding. Never stick your spoon in your mouth and then stick it back in something. It's got a nice little kick to it.
Wow.
It's good,
I'm
right?
gonna pat myself in the back.
All right, we'll put this to the side. Get that ready. So next for you, if you can help me out here, can you please start peeling the shrimp for me?
Okay. Happy to help anywhere.
All right, so now we're going to the next step. I got my lovely assistant over here helping me with the shrimp. I'm gonna be doing the patacones. I'm gonna fry the first fry right now. While I'm doing that, I'm probably gonna season a little bit of steak. So, let's get the patacones going. Our water's already boiling. All right, I'm gonna season it a little bit over here. Un poquito de sal. Oh. Para mí, el skirt steak es un corte delicioso. Uno de mis favoritos. Claro, no voy a decir que el porterhouse is not my favorite, pero el skirt steak está ahí segundo. Tiene buen sabor, se cocina rico y en verdad el sabor del skirt steak es muy diferente de cualquier otro sabor de cualquier otra carne. Ahora nuestra carne ya está sazonada bien deliciosa. Vamos a dejarle que ahí se quede un ratito con todo ese sazón. Y eso ya está preparado. Okay. Ahora sí, listo para la carnecita. Eso es lo que se quiere escuchar cuando se pone la carne. Una skirt steak, no más de 3 minutos por cada lado. Y eso es más que suficiente para que esté deliciosa esa carne. Okay. A ver, Ingrid, ¿que me podrías asistir acá?
Claro, ya
¡Qué rápida! ¿Qué es para los camarones? Y cuando estamos en casa solos, dice que no puede porque le duele las manos. Mentirosa la mujercita de aquí. Por favor, eso sí, por favor, me puede picar en cuadritos pequeños. A mí me gusta usar bastante el shallot para cuando estamos cocinando algo de mariscos. Le da un mejor sabor, tiene un sabor más fuerte que la cebolla blanca y roja. Y es bien delicioso, especialmente cuando se pone un poco de ajo y vino blanco y después más el queso que también tiene un heavy disguising taste when you put cheese and heavy milk. Esto sí le salta muy delicioso, más con el sabor de los camarones y después del salmoncito encima. Este plato va a quedar pepo.
Y viendo cómo lo haces, porque normalmente no tengo la oportunidad de ver hacerlo.
Ahora sí. Lo más difícil, la cosa que se tiene que practicar y que a mí me falta mucha práctica para poder decir que soy un profesional chef o estoy a un nivel mejor que dishwasher, sería la práctica con la navaja. Cortar y cortar todo al mismo tamaño y siempre en el mismo estilo. Eso es algo que viene con mucha práctica y a mí todavía me falta. Pero ahí les sigo dando porque todavía la comida me sale pepo. So, you can go generous here. thing with the pepper. You can go generous here. Just get your hand dirty a little bit. Just mix them around. Get the seasoning in all the shrimp. You know what I'm saying? Seasoning's always good. Seasoning's always great. So as soon as she's done with that, we are going to put the shrimp to fry. And after that, we're going to start working everything else. We're going to start putting everything together now. Now she has the patacones ready. We'll get the skirt steak on the griddle. Cook that up real nice. Then we'll have our avocado sauce. That's what I'm going to start doing next. That's a simple thing. Put it in a quick blender, blend it all up, and it's going to taste delicious. Get ready to make an avocado sauce. It's something that I kind of created. Maybe there's a recipe for this out there. I don't know. I made it happen. I did it one day and it tasted amazing, especially with the skirt steak and the patacones. So it's one of my favorites. It's simple to make. 2 avocados. Little secret about avocados, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows this. Yesterday they were a little hard still. So overnight I put them into a paper bag with a banana that was ripe, and they did pretty well. They're nice and soft. They're creamy right now and juicy. So this sauce is going to be amazing. All right. So what I put in here. Ooh, this lime is dry. So you can get a little bit of juice. All I need is just a little. What's here is 2 avocados, salt, pepper, sour cream, a little bit of mustard, and we're gonna top this off with a little bit of garlic powder and some olive juice. Olive juice, olive oil. This is gonna really have a lot of layers. It's gonna give a lot of flavor, and it's gonna go really well with what we're making today. It's a great dipping sauce as well. If you ever have a little party with some friends, put it out there with some chips, some snacks, or make a bunch of patacones and just serve it with that. All right. Now we just close it up. We're gonna put it in the blender, and we're gonna go from there.
That's good. Wow.
That's good.
That is good.
That's good. That's really good. So shrimp cook very fast and very, very, very gentle. If you don't cook them, if you overcook them, they'll get way too rubbery and it's just not going to taste good. And remember that we are going to put the shrimp into our Alfredo sauce when it's already made. So it's going to cook a little bit more. So you want to be just a tad on there, nothing too crazy, just a tad. Meanwhile, this is going, this is the same oil or the same pan as the one we're going to use to make an Alfredo sauce. So that good, delicious flavor from the shrimp will be all on this pan. Ahora sí, aquí lo que vamos a poner va a ser el shallot y un poco más de aceite para comenzar el Alfredo sauce. Que podrían oler lo que estamos oliendo nosotros con este ajito y el shallot, más los camarones. Huele delicioso en esta casa. ¿Sí o no, mi amor?
Oh, sí.
All right.
Ya tengo mucha hambre.
Cuidado con quemando la cebolla y el ajo, porque eso sí se cocina muy rápido a veces. Yo le pongo en bajo heat y le dejo que se cocine. Okay. Para mí esto ya está. Ahora sí, listo tiempo para su vinito, porque también le gusta chupar como mi esposa. Eso sí.
¿Dónde está mi vino? A ver. Para saludar. Para ver salud. ¡Salud!
Salud, ahí con el sazón.
Así sí. Así sí cocino.
Ok, eso que se reduza, que está casi todo el líquido que se vaya. Y ahí vamos a poner el heavy cream, vamos a poner mantequilla y de ahí vamos a poner el queso. Ok. También el fettuccine es una de las pastas que tenemos que moverle cuando se está cocinando. Pues movamos el fettuccine, cocina y es algo mágico. Mágico y science, you know? Son químicos cruzándose juntos para crear algo bien delicioso, pero también el amor que sale, el olor que tiene, sale amor. I don't know, algo de casa, cuando cocinaba mi mamá me hace acuerdo de estas cosas. Cuando cocinaba a mis abuelitas, que me acuerdo muy poco, pero sí me acuerdo llegando a la casa de ellos y oliendo deliciosas cosas saliendo de esa cocina. Y eso es algo que a mí me encanta, y por eso es que me encanta a mí bastante la cocina. Me gusta dar de comer, me gusta gente que disfrute lo que yo hago. Y así es porque hago todo esto, ¿no? Ahora sí, todos los vegetales chuparon todo ese vino, ese sabor de vino. Este vino yo compré, porque como estamos haciendo salmón, y este vino tiene hints de mango, pineapple y papaya, pues le va a dar un poquito más de sabor a toda nuestra comida. Ok, pongamos el heavy cream. Este queso es Parmesan cheese, grated. Thank you, asistente.
Ahora estoy aquí, ¿no?
What I'm hoping is, after making this great meal for her, I'm hoping there's no excuses of a headache tonight. If you know what I mean.
Bueno, ahí vamos a ver, ¿no?
I'm trying to keep it nice and clean. A little bit of wine.
Nice. Thank you. And dig in. All right, let me try a taste of this. This looks so good, and I love the colors. It looks really nicely cooked. That's good. Wow. Let me take another bite. I can't.
So, how's that chimichurri you made?
That is delicious. Maybe that's the best part. I'm just
I got jokes.
I'm just
Got
kidding.
jokes, huh?
No, it's all delicious. That avocado sauce is probably my favorite one, though.
Good.
Yeah, it's really good. You always find these really creative ideas on how to come up with a dish, and then you plated it beautifully too.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow.
Alright.
I will wait till you sit.
So, let's just give a little thanks to God.
Yes.
Thank you for this food. We appreciate everything you do for us, and we will keep our faith with you, and we will enjoy this dinner.
Dig in. Mm-hmm. That's
I
good.
don't mean to toot my own horn,
Oh, toot it away.
but that is good. Very, very good. So, Ingrid, now that we're eating, we would like to ask you some questions to help our guests when they might get stuck in a situation that sometimes they need a couple words of advice or guidance just to push them over. So my first question is, while you were in school, what kind of student were you? Were you one that enjoyed the party in life, or you were more focused in schoolwork and trying to get school done and then move on to the next chapter of your life?
Well, I have to say that I was more so that person that was focused in school and making sure that the grades were there, the classes that I needed to do were there. I didn't want to take longer than 4 years to graduate because, of course, the more I take, the more money it costs. So I was very focused in school and not really into the party life.
My understanding is you went to a few different schools to get your master's. So why did you do that? Why didn't you just pick one school and go straight through the end and get your master's from one university instead of doing several different universities so you can get your master's?
Yeah, well, I went to Sacred Heart and I was looking into medical school. I know that I always wanted to be in the medical field and liked science. That was always a passion of mine. Even as a kid, I went to science camp. So there was just no doubt that I wanted to do something in my life with science. And the more that I was in school, the more I got into clinical research or research in general and what it could do to the future of pretty much the world. But I also looked at what I wanted to do after I got my bachelor's degree, and then I went to Quinnipiac University, and it offered just some more courses that were closer to what I wanted to do in the research field, more so than anything else. So it was more of what I can do with that degree than just sticking with one school. So I look at my options. What can I do with them? Where can I go with them?
So I heard you said that you were very involved in science since you were a child.
Yeah.
So does that mean that your parents pushed you to science? Were they the ones that kind of guided you or showed you the way of science?
They didn't necessarily push me or guided me, but they fully supported when they saw my interest. I asked to go to certain camps, and my parents did everything that they could to put me in the camp that I wanted to go into, and always making sure that I was able to do that. So I was very fortunate and lucky that they were able to do that for me. And they saw my interest, and they did everything that they could to put me in what was aligned with that.
Okay. So once you finished school and got your master's degree, did you go in right away? Did you start the field that you were looking for after school? Or were you still lost? Or was there just no position at the moment of where you were trying to start off? More than likely, how did you end up in your position after you graduated your university of Quinnipiac?
I think it started even when I was in school. I mean, you really have to put yourself out there. You really have to look into what opportunities does the school even have. I worked as a research assistant with my undergraduate school. So I was in the lab, putting petri dishes together and getting cells, the media for the cells to grow. It was nothing crazy, but it was something that got me involved, got me the experience, got me into research, and that's kind of where I got the research that I wanted to do. And that ultimately helped me get my first job, which was right out of my bachelor's degree. So I was able to get something after my bachelor's degree, I think because I also looked for work during school that could help me then get where I want to be after school. So I was in pharma for a little bit while I was getting my master's degree. And being in pharma really helped me see that I wanted to have more direct patient care. I wanted to help people, and I just wanted to be more involved in them.
Okay. In your time now, from after high school to where you are today, how many obstacles, or what were the biggest obstacles that you had to overcome to be able to do what you're doing right now?
I would say the biggest obstacles, and I have been fortunate in many ways. I was able to go to the university, so to get a college degree. I was able to have supportive parents that helped me in every which way. And I think the one thing that I can say that not many people might have to do to overcome is when I was in my undergraduate degree and I didn't have a car and my parents couldn't afford to give me a car. So it had to be how do I get to school? How do I get to my classes? I took the city bus. I took the Bridgeport city bus to go to school, and I had to take the city bus. I used every opportunity, every option that I had to get to class. I would clump all of my classes into the fewest days, and I would be there from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. because otherwise, how am I going to get to school? So I would just try to do it all in one day. And I did. And I did it all in one day. And as embarrassing as it was to stand out there and wait for the city bus with all of these college students, walking to their dorms and driving by, I did what I had to do to get my degree.
You're a very focused person, determined person, and you had a goal that drove you to where you are today. So I guess my question also would be, what advice do you give people out there? They're just maybe a little lost if they want to keep in school, or the school is tough. Why would you tell them to stay in school and push for those careers and give it their all the time?
Yeah, I would say to stay in school because there are opportunities out there. And a lot of times, or most of the time, it takes some level of sacrifice that you have to do. Figure out a way. You know, like I said, I would take the city bus, or I would share the car with my sister, who would drop me off at the university, and then she would go to work, and then I would just linger around for a few hours until my class, because that was just the easier way. But you know, I figured it out. I had help. Seek help. That's very important, because there's a community out there that you can find to help you. Be inventive in the ways that you find help. To get home, if no one was there to pick me up, I would take the shuttle to the train station to then take the city bus home. So when there's a will, there's a way.
Very well said. When there's a will, there's a way. So pretty much, guys, my last question for her. Sounds like you're a very smart person, Ingrid. Why did you marry me?
Good question. No, you are passionate in everything that you do, from your job as an electrician to this delicious and wonderfully cooked meal. You know, you striving to do better, and I would say everyone should also find someone that can help them strive, because you are part of the reason that I am where I am. You know that you pushed me and, you know, let me see that I can be more and I should reach for more. And so you gave me that extra little bump in it to be where I am now, and be in a higher position than I would have been, I think, you know, had you not done that for me. So I think we complete each other and make each other better in every sense of the way.
And that, I want to say, is very true. She is my queen, like I said in the beginning. Since I first met her, I truly fell in love because of the way she was with me. She was patient, she was understanding, and she always pushed me to do us. As I push her, she always pushed me to do more. And she always was my sidekick. There was never no doubt in her mind that whatever I put my mind to, I could do, and she always pushed me and she always supported me. So with that said, I want to thank everyone out there for joining us today. I really do hope that you got a trick or two out of the kitchen from me. And I also hope that you got some great advice from my beautiful wife here. And I hope you enjoy yourselves, and I hope you're recreating this dinner, and I hope you enjoy it just as much as we are right now. I want to say goodbye for now, and we'll catch you in the next show. But one last thing. Today, we spent about $120 in this great meal that we did. And I was wondering if I can ask you to donate that to a charity of your liking. And if so, what charity will you be donating the $120 that we spent in this meal today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good idea. And, you know, working in cancer research, I can't think of anywhere else but donating to the Closer to Free ride, which is coming up in September, and our organization is obviously part of it, and this would help every effort tremendously.
So I just want to say goodbye. Tune in, subscribe, like, comment. Let us know how we did in our first episode. And once again, thank you all, and have a good night from PePo TV.